Alright, so today I'm going to be showing the first round game from my tournament in Dublin. Around the 16, 15, 17, 1800 level over the board. And in the first game I was playing this guy named Nicky Mullins. He was probably like 50. Probably younger, 40s. But a super nice guy. I had some pints with him after the game, or a couple of days later. This game was last Friday, and I think it was Saturday night. I was having the pints with him, but he opened with e4, and I knew before the game if I saw e4 I was gonna play e5. So we kind of we knew what we were getting into, and he went knight f3. So I played the Petrov, going for a Stafford, and he took. So I went for the Stafford, and this is considered, not the best opening, especially for like a tournament game. But I don't really believe in that stuff. Like, I'm gonna play what I want to play. I think it's fine, and I was talking with people at the tournament. They're like saying how if you give me enough time, I'm not gonna make big mistakes in these kind of openings. But I also would argue, like, you give me time to come up with more creative ways to play it, kind of thing. So, but unfortunately, we saw as Stafford Gambit declined. He did not take the knight. He dropped back, kind of crazy. So I knew what to do though. I was pretty happy to just take the pawn, and most of the time you actually see like queen here. But he didn't go for that. He did kind of like a reverse, but this way I'm not winning a pawn. I had a choice between a couple ideas. I could have taken, and I could have played here. I guess like the main problem I saw with this was takes, and even though I kick out the knight, and the knight didn't have a good way to go really. I just didn't see a great way of defending this pawn. Like, it was defendable, but I thought it was annoying. But maybe I'm crazy. So that didn't happen in the game though. Yeah. I dropped back. It took a while, and I dropped back. And I figured he was gonna play the d4, and then I would play d5. It was pretty basic ideas, pretty symmetrical game. And he developed his bishop, and then here I played a weird move. He was really overprotecting the square, and I was afraid of like this bishop pin and knight here ideas. So I just played here to stop any shenanigans from coming over this way, or you get what I was saying. The knight go there, but yeah. He developed his bishop, and we'll see. He said, after the game, he should have developed his bishop here, and I sort of agree, but that's not neither here nor there now. I pin the knight. He just castles, gets out of the pin, but I think here I decided to, I could have castled here, but I decided not to. I developed my bishop. I wanted to keep like a flexible option of whether the castle king side or the chance to castle king side. I didn't want to commit one side or another. It's to like let my opponent build an attack or something, like if I castle king side. Can't even remember exactly. I think here he just decides to pin my knight, and I saw this coming. My bishop's already developed this way. It'd kind of be a waste of time to bring it back, but I already had this thought out to go here, and then I'm basically giving him the option to take and damage my pawn structure, because I can't take back with the queen, because then the knight comes in and takes the pawn and hits the queen and the bishop. But I figured, like, with this setup, he's instantly letting me gain access to this file, and then I think this looks. I think the engine was saying this is better for white. Like after the game when I checked this out, but there's a reason he didn't do it. He didn't play this because I don't know. If as a human perspective, you don't want to have to deal with this open G file when your king's on the G file. Like, I would have been happy to take the double pawns for Increase attack on the enemy king. Increase attack on the enemy king. But yeah, here he came up with a plan that was good, I think, because I made the wrong decision though. He attacked my bishop, and I couldn't let go of the bishop. What I should have done is just taken, takes, and then played knight here. And I mean, the knight drops back, like the pawn's gonna be defended, but I ruined the structure, and this knight is just a Trojan here in the center. But instead I dropped back, trying to save the bishop, and he played here. And what I guess I didn't, like, as soon as I played here, I didn't realize that after here, the knight jumps here, and the knight's a beast. Like, knight attacks the bishop, and it looks like, oh, he's gonna take and ruin my structure. Get a the knight for the bishop. He'll have the bishop pair. I won't. But when in reality, it's just gonna go here, and it's not gonna be fun to get rid of that knight. Anything I try to trade for, it just creates a big, like, massive space advantage in the queen side for white. So I was getting pretty nervous in this position that I had gone wrong, and that I was going to be losing. But my opponent didn't go for this idea. Instead, he dropped his bishop back like that to try and reposition the target the queen. But this also gave me time to jump in with my knight, attack his knight, and now if he jumps here, I feel like it's not, maybe it's not as good. I'm controlling the square, I guess. I don't know, but I guess I was happy to attack the knight, and he took, which I was happy with. I don't know if taking was a good idea for him. I don't know why he wasn't playing his knight there. I don't know. Yeah, I'm not too sure. I guess I guess I really don't know. I'm trying to think, but I mean, if the knight just goes here, I guess this knight's pretty beast in the center. Stops the bishop from going there. This is going to start being hit, but I just feel like this square for the knight is just so deadly. To each their own, though. He took, and then when I had played this knight jump, I, realized the possibility that he takes the knight because his knight is hanging. But I just assumed instantly I would take back with the bishop. And, but then once he played it, of course I had to consider the option of taking with the pawn, and I realized that when I take with the pawn, I hit the knight, and now this pawn is under a lot of pressure. And that's what happened in the game. And now you could see my opponent start to feel unhappy. And at this point in the game, he had used up, a fair amount of time. I'd say I had like maybe hour 10 and he had 50 minutes. Probably a little less for both of us, but I think over the next 2-3 moves, he uses almost like 40 minutes of clock. Like he had like 15 minutes left after the next couple moves. And he played here, and I took a little bit of time in this move. They're like, a lot of these moves weren't as good as you think they are. I didn't like here and here, or here, there's here. There's just a lot of moves I didn't like, so I had to play. I think Queen F6 was the engine's top choice, but I played the second best in Queen E7. Which, in a second here, you'll see, I don't know if it was the best move, but here, I was assuming after, like, it was hard to come up with the best idea for my opponent in this position, because the knight's hanging, the pawn's probably going to be taken. The knight can go here, but I take with the knight, and the knight protects the bishop, and let's say he tries to, I don't even know, like, attack the knight, then I take with check, and then I can happily move my bishop out of the way, or defend it. So, we were happy, and, so I thought he was going to play queen here, or rook here. So when I take, he takes back with the bishop and pins. I think it was time to exploit my king still being in the center. But he didn't go for that. He did go for this idea. So I took, and then he took, and I took. And I'm up a pawn. I felt like my position is better. I was feeling happy, in all honesty. He played a logical move here, c4. Go and just get space on the queen side. Try my bishop. I think I should have played c5 here to try and just disturb this whole construction. I don't really know exactly what I was afraid of. I guess here there's the queen check and it's kind of annoying. So yeah, I guess that does make sense that I wouldn't want to go for that. But I played bishop here to attack the rook. I figure my knight defends it. This bishop could be a powerhouse. This bishop doesn't have a good way to threaten the bishop to trade it off. You can't so easily push this pawn when the king is pinned. So he did check. I played here. He attacked, and I castled. I just needed to get my king to safety. Castling queenside with his pawns here would have been the smartest idea. So at this point, we're feeling good. I know the engine would say it's also good for black here. You're up a pawn. The pieces are a little bit better for black. The queen side's a little bit better for white, but this pawn is also taking up some nice squares. My knight's well placed. My bishop's well placed. His bishops are looking into nothing right now. His bishop can do stuff, but it doesn't have a lot of good, things to attack. I think he dropped his queen back here. The queen wasn't doing much on the side on the edge of the board. I overprotected this pawn here. I didn't want any funny business. He attacked the knight, so now if the knight gets taken, the bishop will also get taken. So I had to take here, and after takes, H pawn had to take because the pin. But so now I have to defend the bishop, and I do with rook d8. He slides his queen over, and that queen move, yeah, yeah. Well, we won't say anything, but I brought my queen up. I thought I was attacking this pawn, takes. Well, let's give it a move here. I takes, but actually the rook takes here, and queen's hanging. Bishop was just taken. It's not something you want to do. So I didn't go into that. After this move, I played f5. Still have the opportunity in the future to have the ability to take here. And I was feeling good about this game. I was basically telling myself in this position, as long as I can keep this bishop here and safe, I don't see how I'm going to lose. And I started thinking of ideas like this and to try and create a better way for my bishop to be on one of these squares and still maintain this pin without having to be targeted by the rook. But at this point in the game, after the bishop here, my opponent was getting really low on clock, about under 2 minutes, 3 minutes. So I did this really bad idea because I was about 30 minutes, and so I figured I would try and make the game complicated and try to go. I played quickly. I moved here quickly, which isn't a bad move to double up on the d file now that this pawn is well protected. But I also went here with the idea to go here and apply pressure along this file and even have ideas of, let's say, I don't know, here, and here to take and check here and get in. And I mean, I don't think this is winning right now, but this is pretty annoying to deal with as well. We're already ready to lift. I mean, they have this move right now, but yeah, you get the idea. That was the plan. And when I played here, my opponent played here, and what I should have done is clog it up, or even just drop back, which allowed this actually. But yeah, as you can tell, I didn't go there. I went for this idea, and I'm sure people see it right now, and if you don't, you're about to, but I pretty much experienced pain very badly, because after the queen checks here, my bishop's gone, and not only that, but it just looks really bad for black. There's this open D file, the only open file on the board, fully open, is about to be completely dominated by white, and that's not a good recipe for success. And yeah, I was pretty hurt after seeing this move, especially since I played this rook over here in under 30 seconds. Honestly, I didn't even really think about it. I wasn't careful, and I mean, if we go back, I mean, this is one of the first opportunities he's had to check me all game. So let's see, if we even go back to the beginning, hasn't had a single chance to check my king the whole entire game. I guess he could have, like right here with his queen and stuff, he could have decided, but you're not as worried about that. Still doesn't have any opportunities to check my king. Here, yeah, when he plays this was his first opportunity now to check the king, and he did. And then my king got to safety, and then I played this f4 move, exposing my king along this diagonal, but it was blocked by this pawn, and that's something I didn't realize. I just saw attack rook, move rook kind of thing, which, you know, is a bad habit to do. You gotta really understand exactly what's going on, but I did miss the check sometimes when you're not thinking about checks the whole game. You do stupid shit like this, and this game really hurt. I felt like in this position, if I would have went here, I'm pretty sure the engine says it's about +4 or 5 for black. I mean, white's really getting squished here a bit. The king has to move over just so they can play here, and even then you just play there, and it's a tough position to play for white. And it's really unfortunate that I played such a bad blunder like this and lost the game. And I really honestly couldn't even sleep the whole night after. I think I got like 3 hours of sleep for my second round game, which was in the morning of Saturday. So it was tough, but it's a lesson of, you know, I can't play my opponent's time. I need to play my own. I had 30 minutes, and I tried to pressure my opponent on low time, and that's how it ended up. And I played on, but like I said, this was a brutal blunder. I mean, all of a sudden, all his pieces are doing all sorts of things, and yeah, he just takes the pawn because if takes, there's a mate. Really exposing my back rank problems. His bishop's about to come alive, and yeah, after a little bit, I think the game went on a little bit longer. I stopped recording moves, but eventually, I'm not sure exactly how it went, but we got to a, we'll just do it like this. We got to, how did it work? Here, let me make some more moves. We got to a position like this where it was just the king and the bishop, and my opponent instantly, what did I play? You know, I played something stupid like this or whatever, and my opponent just played here, and my king was just not happy, man. Can't really get out any which way. I had to walk all the way as King was coming up. So I mean, it was just. Eventually, I resigned. So one loss on the tournament. We tried to get a Stafford. Should have been a win, but you know, opponent had other plans, and I let it affect me for sure. But I guess we'll see how I did in round two, which was a pretty fun game. You should check that game out too if you watch this one. Let me